A good question. How did it come that we negotiate centrally? When there was a massive movement of lecturers outside the country, it was agreed that probably the universities need to come together under the umbrella of Interpublic Universities Consultative Forum of the Federation of Kenya Employers, so that then we can negotiate centrally for two items, basic salary and house allowance. The reason was to make the salaries within public universities the same. And therefore, when we negotiate centrally, we negotiate centrally.
That is fine. Yes. But have you found that one university spent money differently from another? So that if you are employed at Kenyatta University, for example, the staff at Kenyatta University and the staff at the Polytechnic University paid differently, and the universities in those handle the matter differently under each of their portfolios.
Bwana Makali, we have
is that the case though or not? Because I don't think that your grievances are directed to the universities generally when different universities handle their finances differently.
As I've mentioned earlier, Bwana Makali,
yes,
these universities are operating under the auspices of IBUCCF, and therefore any document that they implement must first of all be sourced from IBUCCF, and therefore all the documents supplied to us, and they have given us very useful information. In fact, some of the expenses were explained to the PS, State Department of Education, on how they have used the money. That's how we came to get all this information. And they have explained using a similar template across all the universities.
Yes.
And they have said how they have used the money. And we are saying, we have even asked the government, you release the money to review salaries, basic salary, and house allowance. Can they therefore spend the money on the intended purposes? Right. It's not the business of the union to know where they use the money.
Yes.
The business of the union is to protect the rights of its members. We negotiate the CPA, valid, registered, and signed. And there is one article in that CPA that is very clear. That CPA can only be amended with mutual consent of two parties.
Yes.
These universities have not even approached the union to say that they need to amend that. And therefore the union is demanding full implementation.
So you are striking against who?
Against the university councils who are our employers. We have no problem with the government. The government released the money.
Yes,
The money was taken by university managers.
Being logical people in the universities,
yes.
Where do you expect this money to come from? You are very clear the money was brought by the
released by the government.
And you are very clear the money was used somehow in a way or the other, but not with you. It wasn't given to you. It was given to other people and spent. Where do you expect the money to come from?
You know, the explanation that university managers have given may not be the truth. And I will tell you why.
But answer my question. Where do you expect the money to come from?
I am answering that question because we don't believe what they are saying is the truth. They may have misappropriated this money for other purposes. And I will tell you why. When we went before the parliamentary committee, they were asked, where is the money? Then they started doing declarations. First, they told us that they didn't have any single money. They paid us. Then when they were asked by parliamentarians, they said, we have 500 million. Then they were told, say the truth. They said, we have 700 million. Say the truth. We have 950 million. Say the truth. You are not saying the truth. We have 1.3 billion. We have 1.7 billion. We have 2.0 billions. Now they are saying, what we have, which we did not spend to pay lecturers and other members of staff in universities, is 2.2 billion. We are saying no, Mutegi, because these people cannot be trusted. This money is within their hands.
So you are saying the universities have 2.something billion?
That is what they have said in their own declarations. That we have 2.2.
We'll get back to here exactly, because you know, Musembi has not answered exactly where he expects the money of the university or the expected recourse of the university to your strike. But we'll get back to that. Let's first hear what our viewers, and especially, of course, there must be students out there who are, we don't want them also to join the strike in a different version. So, Mwakazi, what is the feedback?
Yes, absolutely, lots of them, but I'm going to focus on 4 of them because they represent different issues. The first one, Lawrence from Chuka says, is Chuka University part of Kenyan Public University? Because there is no sign of striking workers, or they are traitors. So basically asking the question, are all universities actually on strike? And then another one here, this is a concern, this is Hidehu of Nanyuki, says, morning, I'm a parent with a student in a parallel module and have cleared my fee, which is high at Nairobi University. My stay out, I thought we parents should not be involved in the strike. We have paid all, including lecture fees. Our program is private and university or lecturers must own it. Okay, the second issue there. The third one, of course, is a very spot on. Says, must you work there? If you're not satisfied, quit. Instead of striking, I support you be sacked. And then our final one here, Kishuru from Nyahururu says, it is clear that MPs and senators are in good company when it comes to defying court orders. Impunity is not a preserve of politicians. Anarchy is when UASU officials think they're above the law, just like they're marauding students.
Well,
thank
you very much, Mwakazi. Those are not very pleasant,
comments.
What do you have to say about that first, in justification or in defense of your action? Those who say students are they're helpless, whom do you serve? Yeah.
First of all, the viewers are entitled their opinion, and we have our rights. We have also a right to recourse to fair remuneration. Makali, our constitution, chapter 41, gives us a right to fair remuneration. And probably the public has not been informed. Makali, are you aware that the lowest staff in the university earns 7,000 shillings? Are you aware that the servants who work in the houses or homes of the chief executives of universities are entitled to 55,000? Are you saying then that these 5,000, this member who resides in Kayole, because that's the nearest he can afford a residence, can be able to operate with a salary of 7,000? Okay. Even the percentage we are asking was to move these people from 7,000 to around 9,300.
Right.
If you go to I agree with what the students are saying. If you go to our law schools, you find that most of them don't have even a single professor. Why? Because the government opened opportunities, and all the scholars in law have shifted towards government because of the recruitive remuneration in those sectors.
Yes.
Can you imagine that a full professor in a university starts with a basic salary of 115,000?
Yeah.
Honestly.
Okay.
Does it not even pay for
I think there is not much one can dispute about the need to improve everybody's remuneration, and I think you're entitled to your rights, even especially they were, entrenched in a CBA.
And again, Makali,
yes.
This must be very clear to our good viewers, that we are talking about money, Mutegi, that had already been released by the good government of Kenya.
Yeah.
And that money, we are saying, would have actually improved to these levels we are talking about. A full professor at 150.
Let's assume.
Now here is a very clear case about what we are saying, that you cannot be given monies that belong to workers you preside over and decide to
allocate them to other needs.
That is what we are talking about.
What do you want that person who says they are paid their parallel student and they are meant this modular, and they have paid anyway? Even the students themselves take a loan. What do you say to that?
Mutegi, let me tell you, we have always said this. These students are our clients. We do our duty as good members of this government in terms of delivery of service. The question would also be this: what about me? When somebody has stolen money that was meant for me, what about me? What about me in this case? We are not negotiating. We are not asking for a new package. We are only saying this. You got the money. Why did you not pay me? What about me? I teach them, right? I give them service, right? I mark, examine them, grade them, award, and then, because they are paid fees, if they are paid fees to the full, then that could be also another source that would provide resources to pay me. Because I'm only saying this. We agreed. You are given money. Pay me.
Perhaps one of these days somebody is going to take a different route to this dispute. The student who has paid fees is going to take civil action against you. Okay, the university. They paid fees, they need instruction. Yes. Instruction is not forthcoming. Lecturers are on strike. Why didn't you take the option of suing the universities using civil to extract your due?
Well, Makati, first of all, we have to apologize to our students. And we need to inform the public that the strike is normal and last resort. It's not in our interest to go on strike.
Yes. Right.
Maybe to bring to the attention of the public, we started asking the universities to account for this money way back in September 2013. And we asked them to explain how they spent. They refused to answer that until we had intervention from the Parliamentary Committee on Education.
Right.
That's when they gave us documents to actually enable us establish the amount of money they are holding. Two, you see, for 6 months, university managers have refused to respond to even acknowledge communication from the union. By the way, this CBA started way back in 2009 to negotiate, 2009, and yet the CPA is valid for 2 years.
Yes.
So
let's
get
to the details.
Makati has asked a very valid question. Why go to strike? Why can't you go to court and got a court order to force the university professors, vice chancellors to pay the money?
To pay, to honor the MOU.
Instead of inconveniencing everybody. Why don't you go to court?
Because in your negotiations, I mean, I understand, yes, you have corresponded, they are not forthcoming, you have done all you can within your means to get for them to listen to you, they have not. The court option, the civil action.
We have, Makati, as I said before, we have taken 5 years to negotiate.
Okay.
With the negotiated CBA.
That's okay.
And a strike is one of the options available to us.
The worst action.
It is
but one of the options available to us.
On a matter that, in fact, it falls under, you know, this is a matter you can litigate. You can go to court and extract your rights without
because the government